we need to talk. Because I walked into three different places last week: a coffee shop, an office, a dinner party, and in every single one I smelled the exact same perfume. Not similar, the same. And look, I completely understand. The big houses are everywhere, and the advertising is relentless. And there is nothing wrong with a loving bestseller. But I have been on a quiet mission this year to find the fragrances that make you unforgettable. You know, the ones where a stranger taps on your shoulder and asks, "Sorry, what are you wearing?" I just love those moments. So today I'm putting the spotlight on 9 perfumes, yes, 9, that I think deserve so much more hype than they are getting right now. Fresh to my collection, genuinely extraordinary, and almost nobody is talking about them. And honestly, I feel a little bit guilty it took me this long to make this video because some of these are just absolutely stunning. If you are ready to smell amazing in a way that is completely, entirely your own, then let's get into it. So let's start maybe with the one that might be in people's mind a little bit, but I would not say that it is really hyped. At least not anymore. The fragrance that I'm talking about is Attrape-Reves from Louis Vuitton. Now, if you watch me, then you know that I have mentioned Dua's Dreamcatcher, which is a dupe of Attrape-Reves, multiple times the last few weeks. I am just completely head over heels how beautiful this is. This smells like a beautiful dream you don't quite want to wake up from. It's soft, enveloping, and just a little bit mysterious. It just makes complete sense that they named it Dreamcatcher. It is a rose lychee fragrance, but it is just next level. It has a beautiful ginger note in the top that complements the lychee very nicely. In the mid, we have a lot of rose blended into some cacao, and also we have patchouli in the base. And this patchouli is not earthy, it's rather fresh, maybe slightly bit even fruity in a way. It is relatively fresh, feminine, and I could see it as someone's signature scent. Honestly, I was wearing the Dua version multiple days straight, so eventually it could become my signature scent as well. But not with the current size of my collection, of course. I already mentioned multiple times that there is just something in this Louis Vuitton DNA that just pulls me in. Attrape-Rev is now the first one that I got, but I'm pretty sure that eventually I want Spell on You and Elves as well. But not now, maybe for my birthday I will treat myself again. Now, staying in the world of houses that definitely have a following, because I know you know Parfums de Marly. I know you have heard of Dalina. I know that you heard of Valaya. And I know there are entire corners of YouTube dedicated to this house. But this next perfume, which was released earlier this year, brand new, and almost nobody is talking about it. It was written off by some people due to the price and due to the fact that it was clearly targeting the mainstream audience. It is none other than Athenais from Parfums de Marly. First, I didn't even want to purchase it. Clearly, I was influenced by the poor reviews, but then it went on sale. And I just took it and blind bought it. I eventually already knew from some reviews that it is a very light-hearted citrus floral perfume with a warm vanilla base. Everyone kept saying that it was reminiscent to Prada Paradox Intense, and I knew that I cannot really go wrong with it. I love Prada Paradox Intense. It smells almost exactly like I imagined. slightly fruity, citrusy in the opening, and dries down into a smooth, slightly powdery vanilla floral fragrance. And I am a huge lover of the Paradox DNA, so I have to say that I am enjoying Athenais as well. Comparing it to Paradox Intense, I think this one is a bit softer. It is less in your face, and in Paradox Intense, there is also something more sexy, something like hello, while Athenais is a bit friendlier, let's say a bit more innocent. But the resemblance is definitely there. Now, this one is also sitting a little bit closer to your skin. But if you spray it generously, then you can achieve a nice small scent bubble around you. And this also means that it is not the disturbing type. You can wear it to the office or to public transportation if you take it, as I don't think that it would annoy anyone in your surroundings. The longevity is eventually there, but it will be still sitting super close to the skin after 3 or 4 hours, and you may want to respray it. Now, it will be not for everyone. As said, it smells rather like mainstream. If you are a hardcore niche lover who wears oud, resins, and leather, then just forget about this. But I think if you like the easygoing, fruity florals, then just sample it and decide it for yourself if it is worth for you. Okay, now we are moving into the territory where I genuinely think most of you will have not heard about the house. And that is exactly the point of today's video. This is Passion Bliss by Alexandre J. This is a French house that is, in my honest opinion, is one of the most criminally underrated in the entire fragrance space. They have been making genuinely beautiful, high quality niche fragrances for years, and the fragrance community has just not caught up yet. And I find that so frustrating because when you smell this house, you will understand immediately that they know exactly what they're doing. I was looking at Alexandre J on Fragrantica recently, and hey, the votes are there, the reviews are there. But on YouTube, almost nothing. For a house making perfumes at this level, that is genuinely inexplicable for me. Alexander J should have 10 times the following. And Passion Bliss is exactly the reason why. It is super milky, very creamy, and woody at the same time. You know, it opens up with a load of cinnamon, which immediately melts into that passion fruit, yes, passion fruit milkshake scent, which is enriched with some extra honey and maybe just a little bit of booziness. If you like Dolce Melodia from Sospiro, then imagine the same kind of woody base and the slight spiciness, but swap the orange note with honey sweet passion fruit milkshake. By the way, they are not dupes, but the vibe somehow is very similar to me. Another comparison can be Armani's Power of You, that has just came out not that long ago, you know. And even though they both passion fruit scents, their dry down is very different. Passion Bliss dries down into a warm, creamy, woody vanilla and loses most of its fruitiness. However, with Power of You, I'm quite lucky as I can smell the juicy passion fruit throughout the entire wear. But I think they could be also fantastic layered with each other. Now, with this next one, it is going to be a little bit different because it is not just a beautiful perfume. It is a perfume with a story behind it that I think you are genuinely going to love. This is Blue Madeleine from Atelier des Ors, which by the way translates to Workshop of Gold in French. And it is an artisan house known for making perfumes that are inspired by art, literature, and emotion. Everything they do is intentional and considered and beautiful. And Blue Madeleine is named after one of the most famous moments in literature, Marcel Proust's Madeleine scene. And if you have heard of Proust, or even if you haven't, the Madeleine scene is this iconic moment where the taste of a simple French pastry dipped into tea unlocks an entire flood of childhood memories. It's where the whole idea of scent memory comes from, and Blue Madeleine is literally named after that moment. A perfume about the power of scent to bring back something to you you thought you had forgotten. How beautiful is that? So, Blue Madeleine features the notes of Earl Grey tea, Madeleine, milky notes, soft citrus, and warm sandalwood in the dry down. And it genuinely smells exactly like dunking a warm Madeleine into a cup of milky Earl Grey tea. I know that it sounds very specific, and I mean it as the highest possible compliment. Soft, slightly sweetened, and quietly comforting. It is not loud. It is not a statement perfume. It is intimate and personal and utterly beautiful. However, I have to add that it is not a safe blind buy at all. Some may fear that the gourmand sweetness of the Madeleine is clashing with the tea, and yes, you may need to spend some more time with this perfume to better understand it. But I absolutely recommend it if you want to smell something unusual but beautifully crafted. By the way, if you are still here and watching, then I guess you like this video, so please show it to YouTube and hit the like button, and also consider to subscribe if you haven't. Also, if you want to ensure that you don't miss my future uploads, turn on the notifications as well, as YouTube is focusing on shorts now and doesn't really recommend that many long form videos anymore. This next house is the one that genuinely makes me emotional about fragrance. And you know, I don't say that lightly. Because Micallef is one of the most beautiful artisan houses in perfumery, and I feel it has been forgotten by the community. I feel that we should make some efforts together to hype them up again. This is Purple Love by M. Micallef, which is a French family house where everything is handcrafted. The bottles are decorated by hand, the perfumes are built with genuine artistry, and they have been doing this for over 25 years as true labor and true love. And Purple Love is a 2026 release, brand new, barely reviewed on YouTube, and already one of my favorites in the collection. Micallef should have 10 times the following it currently has in this community. I will say this every single time, and I will mention this house until something changes. The quality is here, the artistry is here, and the perfumes are just extraordinary. The fragrance community is genuinely sleeping on this house, and Purple Love is the proof. I already mentioned about this beauty in one of my previous videos. So Purple Love features the notes of bergamot, pink pepper at the top, and then a heart of almond, Madeleine, again, rose, orange blossom, chocolate, and ylang ylang, and with the base of vanilla and soft musks. I know. I know that it sounds just incredible, because it is. It is a gourmand creation, but not in an edible way. You may think that many notes sound like it could be messy or overwhelming. However, I would say on skin, this comes together in the most seamlessly beautiful way. Everything is balanced, everything belongs here. It is the kind of composition that makes you appreciate what a genuinely talented perfumer can do. Now, the next one. The next one might be something that you have heard of, as it got some hype last year. But then it suddenly became quiet. It is queening from Mind Games. And yes, finally I got queening. I already mentioned in my March roundup that I have been sampling queening and I was considering to get a full bottle. And lucky me, Pafori had a 20% off member sale for the last time, and I snagged queening with this good discount. It has a very delicate powdery vanilla scent with some fruity nuances. The powderiness comes from the orris, and I think the coconut also adds to it. It has also rum in it, but it doesn't make it too boozy. The rum only helps with the texture and eventually also lets the musk and the vanilla to shine. The reason why I wanted to get the full bottle of this one is that I find that this perfume is very understated and it is very elegant, but still feminine. So I think it is a typical category where I have some gaps in my collection and I wanted to fill them. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you because that is what this channel is about, of course. There is some conversation in the community about the longevity of queening. I have seen this mentioned on Fragrantica and also on Reddit, and I won't lie to you. It is not a projection monster. However, I would say some perfumes are not meant to project across the entire room. And queening, yes, it's intimate. It is a kind of skin scent, and that is entirely the point. It is the kind of fragrance that people notice when they are close to you, and that is a very specific and very beautiful kind of compliment. So this is an everyday wear, genuinely year round, but especially beautiful in colder months when you want that soft skin scent feeling that follows you all day. And if you are someone who loves Oris and vanilla and musks, queening needs to go on your sample list immediately. Don't wait. Now, this next one is one I have been genuinely waiting to talk about because the story behind it is as beautiful as the fragrance itself. And I think once I tell you about the house, you are going to want to explore it immediately. This is White Blood by L'Anthropist. And before we even get into this perfume and how it smells like, I need to tell you who made it. So, L'Anthropist is the personal project of Bertrand Duchaufour, a perfumer with over 40 years of experience. He is widely considered of one of the greatest niche perfumers in the world. So after 4 decades of creating for other houses, he opened his own boutique in Paris and launched L'Anthropis as his manifesto. So his concept that life and beauty can only truly exist through chaos. The name literally refers to entropy, the idea that disorder is not a flaw, it is how the system evolves. His bottles are even designed a little bit off center, you can see it, on purpose. This is not a house that does anything accidentally. Now, most of the L'Anthropist fragrances in the collection lean into that daring, complex side, something dark, layered, challenging, wonderful, but not always easy. Now, White Blood is different. White blood is luminous, and this is exactly why I wanted to talk about it today. The name comes from a beautiful idea, the pale, dense sap that flows invisibly inside a flower's petals. Not blood in a dramatic sense, but the quiet, living fluid that gives a flower its life. So, white blood features the top notes of black pepper and bergamot, a heart of star fruit and pink lotus with some tiare, and the base of musk, ambergris, and vetiver. And I have to tell you that starfruit note is not a background decoration. It is front and center, and it is glorious. This opens up with this crisp, almost buzzing tanginess, very fresh, very bright, and that bergamot adding a clean citrus underneath. And then the tiare and the pink lotus come in and soften everything into this luminous tropical floral scent. It is the kind of fragrance that smells like sunlight on water, like standing somewhere beautiful on a summer morning and having that breeze carrying something extraordinary past you. Now, if you have smelled anything else from the Lanthropist line and found it a little intense, I hear you. And this is going to be your gateway. This is genuinely the most wearable, the most accessible fragrance of the house. It sits close to the skin, it is not too loud, it is not heavy, and it is absolutely perfect for summer. If you love fresh, fruity, slightly tropical scents and you want one that has genuine artistic depth behind it, White Blood needs to go on your sample list immediately. And finally, I want to close with the house that is actually what started this whole video. Because when these arrived on my doorstep, I was genuinely not prepared for how much I was going to love them. Quick transparency note before we get into it. These two were gifted to me by Gisada as a part of a PR collaboration. But as always, and I mean always, that does not change what I say on this channel. If I didn't love them, I simply wouldn't have included them. Full stop, but I do, and here we are. So these are Ambassadora Gold and Ambassador Gold from Gisada. It is a Swiss luxury house based in Zurich and one that has been building something genuinely extraordinary without spending a single cent on celebrity endorsement or viral campaigns. Swiss precision applied to perfumery, considered refined and absolutely beautiful. And here is what genuinely surprises me. Gisada has been building this collection for years, and the fragrance community has barely noticed. You will not find a Gisada essay trending on Fragrantica. You will not find a dozen of YouTube videos reviewing this house. And I truly cannot explain because the quality is absolutely there. Gisada should have so much more recognition that it currently has, and today we are starting to fix that. So let's start with Ambassadora Gold, which is the feminine counterpart. This one features the notes of plum, orange, lemon, and pear at the top, with a heart of gardenia, frangipani, orange blossom, and tuberose, and then a very warm, musky vanilla base. It is feminine, fruity floral, and absolutely stunning. It opens up with that gorgeous fruity brightness, the plum, the pear, and the bergamot, and then it transitions into that most luscious white floral heart with frangipani, which is yellow. The fruitiness is slightly tangy, but it balances the tropical florals very beautifully. The tuberose and the frangipani together are just extraordinary. And the base is very warm, musky, and skin-like. And there is something silky yet powdery in the dry down as well. And of course, it has a vanilla base, which is very smooth and expensive smelling. I also don't have any problems with the longevity. It projects nicely and lingers around beautifully for hours. It is just perfection for spring and summer evenings. And then gold, the masculine counterpart. And it is a fresher, more citrusy fragrance at the top. It is very aromatic and clean smelling with a woody and spiced dry down. It is very, very polished, confident, and the kind of fragrance that makes a room notice when you walk in. My boyfriend was very delighted to try it, and I'm happy to report that even his weird nose likes it very much. If you feel that your man keeps wearing the same perfumes, then maybe check out Gold to bring some variety into his collection. Both of these are perfect for the warmer months, spring and summer events, special evenings, or honestly, just any day when you want to feel a little bit more elevated than usual. So Gisada deserves to be on your radar, and I hope today's video puts them there. And those are my 9 most underrated perfumes right now. 9 fragrances that I genuinely believe will make you unforgettable. I hope at least one of these made you think, I need to smell that. Because that little spark of curiosity, that is where all the best discoveries start. And in a world where everyone is wearing the same 3 perfumes, finding something entirely your own is genuinely one of the most personal, luxurious things that you can do for yourself. Tell me in the comments, which one surprised you the most? I have a feeling the Louis Vuitton is going to divide some of you, and I'm absolutely here for that conversation. If you enjoyed this video, a like means so much to me and genuinely helps this channel to reach more and more people. And if you are new here, then subscribe. I upload twice a week and I promise you will never run out of beautiful things to discover. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.